This is Ryan from Galaxy Toys and Collecting Cosmos, and I have a new quick update video to show you guys about something I wasn't expecting to find, but I walked into a Fred Meyer today and found. Today is September the 17th, and I didn't expect to find these already, as it's still 2 weeks away from Go Rogue Friday or Rogue Friday, whatever we're calling it, but I found all 6 of these figures at a Fred Meyer here in the Seattle area when I walked in today, and I'm going to show you each one of these. I'll open them up so you can check them out. Start with Jyn Erso here, as she is our heroine for this movie. Kind of giving you an idea what the card art looks like here. Obviously the Build-A-Weapon is gone and replaced by giant weapons. Here's the card backs, which has information about the character, not a whole lot, and then the new app that you can use to make videos with. I'll be trying that later today. It's supposed to come with codes inside each one of these for that. So here's the figure fresh out of the package. As you can see, it does come with that code that you can use, and this giant projectile firing weapon that I'll probably never look at again. These are packaged a lot like the Force Awakens figures, which I kind of like. I thought these packages were very easy to open, as well as to kind of keep whole, not tear apart like some other packaging. So the Jyn Erso, of course, is our basic 5 points of articulation, as we've seen before. Nothing new there. So basically, we're going to be looking at detail on these ones. So the figure looks pretty good. I know with the light on, it's hard to see her face really well, but it looks okay. It's not the best likeness of the actress, but it looks okay. And I find it interesting looking at this figure. You would think this would be a total, like, rubbery cloak over it, but really the upper part, I suppose you could take it off if you really tried, but it seems really attached. Like, the skirt comes up a little bit down here, but it's not, like, gonna fold all the way up as we've seen, like, more like a poncho as we've seen on other figures. The back is just basically a poncho. This almost reminds me of an Endor poncho that we see in Return of the Jedi without a belt, as well as the helmet, which reminds me of the Endor helmets. And she's got a breather on, much like we saw on the Millennium Falcon passengers in Empire Strikes Back. Now, her holster does fit her gun that comes with her, which is a nice add. However, all these items, I guess that's her baton and everything else, are all a part of this poncho, cloak, whatever you want to call it, that it's already attached to that. They're not separate pieces. Next figure we're going to look at is the Stormtrooper. When I saw these on display at San Diego Comic-Con, I was really impressed with the detail on these. I think this is one of the best helmets I've ever seen on a Stormtrooper action figure we've ever had. I like the idea that we have replaceable armor. I'm interested to see how that looks on it. So again, much like the Force Awakens cards here. Flip over to the back. And again, just a little bit of information about the Stormtrooper and information about the app. So here's a look at everything that comes inside the package. Look at the detail on the Stormtrooper. This is a very well detailed Stormtrooper. I like it. Now, there's probably Stormtrooper experts out there who are going to not like some of the details on this. But I think it's pretty cool. It does come again with a little deal about the app, and it comes with instructions on how to replace the armor. Flip him over. You can take a look at his back. Probably could use some paint there on the back of his head. That's something that looks like that got missed. I think everything else looks good. The paint apps on these figures look very good. The detail and sculpting, I really do like. So here's our Stormtrooper who has battle damage armor on, or extra armor. This reminds me, now obviously we haven't seen the movie, kind of reminds me of the belts that we're seeing on something like the Death Trooper. Has that belt buckle that could be a lot like Darth Vader's that we've seen on the Death Troopers. I don't know if we're going to see Stormtroopers in additional armor like this, or if this is just a play feature. As you can see, this is where we have 2 little holes in that, and that's where we're actually going to put the pauldron. Now, I was hoping that this would be exact, look really good. As you can see, it sticks out from him a little bit. Looks a little more bulky than you would expect. I was hoping like the armor chest would come off, and we could add the pauldron, but it's still a nice feature that we can add to our Stormtroopers, that we can do battle damage and a pauldron all in one figure. I'm sure we'll get another Stormtrooper down the line with just the pauldron. Now, in reading about the figure and the instructions, it says actually if you press here on the belt, his armor will pop off. I guess that's part of the battle damage. Kind of an interesting feature for them to add. It's got a little piece there that comes back and forth on that. Our next figure I'm going to look at is the Imperial Ground Crew, which the helmet reminds me a lot of a Death Star gunner that we've had in the past. I'm really interested to open him up and check him out. Again, card very similar to what we've seen for the rest. New card art here, just like Force Awakens. And the back, just a little bit of information about the character and about the app. Here's a look at everything after it came out of the package. It has a large backpack, 2 baton-looking things. the figure and instructions on how to use the backpack, as well as another deal about the app and a new code. The figure itself is very cool. As you can see, the helmet is not exactly like a Death Star gunner. In fact, I never remember the Death Star gunner having those divots in his helmet, much like we saw in Death Squad commanders back in the day. And the helmet doesn't go as far back as we'd see on a Death Star gunner. He's got like the little piece that goes over him, and I'm noticing this for the first time. Those little baton type things will actually fit in the back of here, and I'm wondering if this is a lot like what we see on Jyn Erso in the end of that first trailer that we saw, where she has two things sticking from out of her back. So as you can see, those baton looking things or whatever they are, they do fit into the back of this. And a lot of us speculated that she might be in some sort of TIE fighter pilot costume in that trailer, but it may just be a ground engineer costume. It looks very good with him. Next I'll add the backpack. So here's our ground crew member with his backpack on. Obviously, probably not screen accurate, although I do kind of like it. It's got the Imperial emblem on it. I think I like this better in the Build-A-Weapon. It seems like it could be a little closer to in-universe. These actually open up. So it looks like it could be some sort of winged backpack for him or something. I think this is better play value than those Build-A-Weapons. I do like this better. Probably won't be displaying him with this backpack, but I still think it's better than the Build-A-Weapon. The final Rogue One figure from this wave is K2SO, our new droid. So we can see the card is much like, again, The Force Awakens. We'll get to the figure here in a little bit out of the package. And the back. Big shocker. Information about the character and the app. Here's a look at the figure outside of the package. The detailing on this is very good. It looks very nice. I wish he was a little more articulated as he is a droid. It'd be nice to have more joints in it. Actually, wait. Are these jointed? No. They look like they're jointed. The knees look like they're jointed, but no, they're not. It's just standard 5 points of articulation. On the back of our figure here. We'd seen that OII, as we've seen on the Stormtroopers in the past, on the back of him in the trailer, so we knew that was there. It's a fairly tall figure. It comes with this rappel-lined backpack as it comes out by strings. Reminds me of a 90s Batman type thing. But it is done in the same design to where it looks like it would fit somewhat in universe with this character. So I've had the figure out. I realized that that's not a backpack. It's actually an arm rappel line of some sort, I guess, because there's no way it's going to fit on his back. So he's supposed to hold it. It doesn't come with any guns of any sort. I also noticed that the legs are actually ball jointed at the hip. They don't have a whole lot of range of motion. I'm trying to get my hand out of the way here, sorry. But they do move back and forth this way as well as this way. So that's kind of cool to see, although since we see those joints in his elbows and knees, it would be nice to have those. The detail on this figure is very good. I'm noticing that his chest piece reminds me a lot of a snowtrooper. One further thing I've noticed is the head on this figure has two different joints. The regular ball joint on the head up here, but the neck actually swivels around too. So this has more articulation than our standard figure, which is nice to see. I'm hoping Hasbro continues to add bits of articulation that are useful. Be nice to see a little bit of knee and elbow. I'm not one of those people who needs to have it, but some of these figures could use a little bit of it. Our next figure we're going to look at from this wave is the Kanan in Stormtrooper disguise. We've been seeing this one teased for a little while at conventions and I believe at Toy Fair. Again, much like the card art we've seen before, and back has information about the character as well as the app. So here's Kanan, everything assembled. Actually, this is Kanan with the lightsaber and the gun. And comparing him to the previously released Stormtrooper with Pauldron. So notice the Kanan Pauldron is a little bit smaller, and the orange on it is a little bit paler. Other than that, these look very similar figures. Kanan's a little bit taller, so there may be some new molding on this. It's really hard to tell because it's Stormtrooper armor, although I'm seeing subtle differences. The white of the Stormtrooper armor is much brighter. I don't know if that's because the previous one has been around for a little bit longer. The back, let's get this lightsaber out here. His back. Oh yeah, there's a few minor differences. This may be a new sculpt. I'll compare him to the regular Stormtrooper in a minute. So if you want, you can take the Pauldron off of Kanan as well and just have him as a regular Stormtrooper. We can compare him to the previous Rebels released Stormtrooper. And again, I'm noticing He's a little bit taller than the regular Stormtrooper. And there are subtle differences here. I don't think this is a direct reuse of the sculpt. They may have done a few things with it, modified a little bit, but things do seem to be a little different. Obviously, without the pauldron, you can see a little bit of Kanan's head hanging out there. His ponytail does not hang out the back. They did not detail the back of the helmet as they did in the original release of the Stormtrooper, but his armor is still that brighter, kind of glossier white than the original. Our final figure to look at is Kylo Ren. Now, unlike the Force Awakens figures, it would say Force Awakens under Star Wars. This just has the regular Star Wars logo there. I'm interested to open this figure, see how different it is from previous figures. In the back, again, we have information about Kylo Ren, as well as the app. So here's Kylo Ren out of the package with his gigantic, I don't know what you want to call this, force launcher, flame launcher. The interesting thing is the end of this is kind of a rubbery piece rather than a hard plastic. I will show you how he looks as compared to the other Kylo Rens here in a minute. I do find it interesting that his hood and cowl, if you will, come off all as one piece. We've not had this previously as a Kylo Ren figure, and we just have the regular helmet underneath. So how does this Kylo compare to any previous release Kylo Rens? So this is our new Kylo Ren that we've got. Here's the first Kylo Ren that we originally got from Force Awakens. As you can see, there's a little bit of difference in him. Here is the armor-up version of Kylo Ren. And we know it's probably not going to share much with this, but this is the Walmart Black Series Kylo Ren. But what I've discovered, maybe people I think have already said this, is it is almost the same figure as the helmetless Kylo Ren. Only, I want to say, it looks like they kit bashed and took the helmet, the head, from this figure, the armor-up, to put on here. Because the body, it looks almost exactly the same. In fact, he has the little kind of force left arm, just like the unmasked Kylo Ren. The only new difference that we have is this whole kind of soft molded plastic hood and cowl that we didn't have previous. Although, I am wrong. This plastic cowl and hood piece actually came with the unmasked Kylo Ren previously. I just didn't have it attached. Looks like it is the same piece here. So this is all a kit bash figure, this new one. So probably some of you won't need to buy it if you don't want to. It's basically just the body from him with the head from him. And put that together and you get this new Kylo Ren figure. Unless you really need this, because this has not been available previously. One last thing that I noticed as I was putting away these figures is Jyn Erso actually has extra articulation here. Her arms kind of move at the forearms to give her a little bit more articulation. And I realized I never showed a proper comparison of the height of Jyn Erso as compared to the height of K2SO. So there, now you can see that he does tower above. And in fact, I know Jyn Erso is a small character. We'll put him next to Kylo Ren here. And he is still quite a bit taller than Kylo Ren. So you have an idea of how much taller that is. So one last thing to look at here. This is the app that comes with these figures, or that you can download as well. You can select different characters and different things to use within this and set up your figures with it. It shows you how to kind of set it up here. Each figure comes with a little code so that you can download it and get kind of more characters to use. And you just set it up, and this is what you get. So I hope you enjoyed my new find that I found. I was shocked to see this at Fred Meyer. It looked like it was an entire case there. There were these 6 figures plus 4 more that were just duplicates of some of these. I think Chris B was able to pick up all of those. I'm looking forward to all the new Rogue One toys hitting in about 2 weeks. And I'll be doing some more videos for reviews of other items coming up. If you have anything you'd love to see me review, go ahead and post it in the comments here. I know somebody asked me to review and show my collection off. Unfortunately, I've actually been starting to box some of it up because I'm planning to move next year. With my marriage next year, we're looking at moving to our own place and all that. So I have so much stuff, I had to start boxing things up early. So I cannot show off a video of my collection as a lot of it's put away. So I hope you can check me out some of my other videos and enjoy new stuff and listen to the Galaxy of Toys Network. Thank you.